Hi Floss Tube, I'm Jane.
And I'm Amelia.
And we're here to talk about our stitching. We haven't done a Floss Tube for quite a while. Today is Sunday the 8th of March.
2020.
2020, I know. So I think our last Floss Tube was in October, like either the start of October or maybe even the end of September. I can't quite remember, but it has been quite some time. So we have lots to show you and talk about today. So let's get into it.
Okay.
We might start with showing the finishes that we've gotten framed. So do you want to grab the first one, Millie?
Okay.
I had these framed in October and did not get to show you. So this one was the Inn at Fox River Mill. By Little House Needleworks. So absolutely loved how this came out. Very happy with the framing. Love the stitching piece. There's a lot of work in it, particularly in the houses. But of course I love it because of the fox. So yeah, really happy with this one. I've got it hanging up in my dining area. And yeah, just love this red house, love the fox, love the colours, sort of autumn looking colours I think, which is great because we've just come into autumn now. So yeah, very happy with this one. And then the main piece that I was working on last year was...
Oh, it's heavy.
What was this one called, Millie?
I forgot.
You forgot?
Yeah, I forgot.
Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow.
I know it.
So happy with how this turned out. Quite like a rustic looking frame. And this is the first time I've had something framed without a mat. I just really didn't think it needed anything because normally I do frame my stitches with mats. But this one, it just didn't need it. And I mean, I wouldn't have any idea what colour mat you'd choose anyway. So I loved stitching on this last year. It's one of my favourite stitches ever. I wish I could hang it all year, but I do only hang it up for the month of October. I think I've mentioned before that Halloween is not a huge thing over here in Australia, but it is getting more and more popular. So yeah, very happy with those framed finishes. Then in November I got to go on my first cross stitch retreat, which was a Plum Street sampler retreat just on the north coast of New South Wales, so slightly north of Sydney, and got to meet Paulette Stewart, who was absolutely lovely. And of course heaps of like-minded cross stitches, which was really, really good. I don't really know, other than my sisters who all live in Victoria, anyone who does cross stitch. So it was really cool to be able to meet, oh, and of course you.
Taking all the credit for your sisters.
Yeah, sorry Millie. So yeah, it was really cool to meet some other stitchers. We literally just stitched all day. We had a dinner out on Saturday night, which was a lot of fun, and then stitched again up until 4 o'clock on the Sunday. And it was great. I really didn't want it to end. I had so much fun, and yeah, just a great bunch of girls, and really looking forward to doing some more of those. So I'll show you the piece that we've got to stitch on. This is exclusive for 12 months with linen and threads. So if you like the pattern, you can contact Linen and Threads and they'll be able to get you a copy of the pattern. Do you want to hold it up and say what it's called, Amelia?
It's called My Early Days.
It's a really gorgeous pattern.
Haven't you finished it?
No, I haven't finished it yet. But it's got the beautiful deer. This flower pot with these bright blue flowers are just, it's so cool and it's so different. That blue just pops out. I really, really love it. Lots of grass down the bottom there. And it's quite a big project. And I was able to get Paulette to sign my pattern, which was pretty cool. I'm gonna pop that back in there. So I'll show you my progress so far. It's on a Q-snap, so I now have Q-snaps. When I was on the retreat, one of the girls had Q-snaps. I was like, oh, you know, asking her what they were like to work with, and she said, I've got a spare one, use it for the weekend, and if you like it, then you can go grab some. So it was really cool. I tried it out, absolutely loved it. I think the tension they give you on your fabric is fantastic, and easy to hold, because I was using hoops that are they're quite a thick hoop, so I'm used to holding something that's a bit thicker. So yeah, it was really good. I didn't bring down the cardboard that I normally do to hold up things, so
that's sad.
That wasn't very clever of me.
Nope.
Out of practice, so I'm just gonna hold it. I'll hold it behind here so you don't see through it. But this is what I've done so far. Definitely past the halfway mark. So I've done the top flowers, then coming down to the house and the deer. That deer is so cool. Then we've got sheep and grass. The grass is quite a bit of effort. There is some 1/1 stitching on here, but it's not so bad. So some of it is in the leaves on the flower pot. I think some of it might be on, there's a little dog up here. There's some over one up there on the butterfly as well. It's on 36 count, so it's not so bad. But yeah, it's, you know, I've still got to sort of replicate this tree and deer over on this side and finish off the sheep and the grass, and then come back up here, and then there's the little saying up here. But yeah, I love it. It's a gorgeous piece, can't wait to finish it. We'll be getting back to this one soon. So that is that one. I've got so much to show you, so I feel like things are going to get messy. But anyway, we'll just power through, yeah?
Let me take that.
Alrighty. Next up, some other finishes that I've had. So pretty much November, I was working fairly solidly on that, I think, because I just love it. Love working on it. We went away for Christmas, so we had a beautiful Christmas lunch here in Sydney, and then we went
to Coffs Harbour.
Yeah, up north again to Coffs Harbour. It's a beautiful coastal town, about 5 hours north of Sydney, and we were up there for about 10 days, I think. We just stayed in a resort on the beach and went swimming every day, went to the beach, went to
Big Banana.
Yeah, I guess the region is popular for growing bananas, and they have this big banana theme park, so we went there.
But the big banana is made out of concrete.
Yeah. We went to a like a little sort of SeaWorld type thing. It was very tiny, very small, but you got to pat a seal, didn't you?
Easy.
Or hug a seal. Do you remember?
Wait, did I even hug the seal?
Yeah, we were sitting next to it.
Oh,
remember?
yes. Can I go get the picture?
Well, I can insert pictures at the end. And yeah, it was a really great holiday, wasn't it? Went out for dinner a few times. Matt got to play golf. So yeah, lots of fun. Yeah, that was funny.
So when Ethan, my older brother, went to go pet the dolphin, the dolphin splashed water at him once. Then when he did it again, it happened again.
Yeah, so you were able to go up and pat the dolphins as they swam by on the tummy. And yeah, when the dolphin came past Ethan, he flicked his tail up and Ethan was saturated. It was quite funny.
And also you got to do tricks where you sort of like playing catch, but the dolphin caught it in their mouth and stuff.
Well, very clever, weren't they?
Mhm.
So yeah, that was our Christmas New Year holiday. I forgot to show you this one. I finished this just before I went on retreat because the only other plum street I had finished at that time I had gifted to my sister. So this was, sorry it's not ironed. This was Mar2020, and I changed out the colours in this one because Santa was meant to be grey, similar to the sleigh up there, so I made him red. In fact, I didn't use any of the called for colours on this because I didn't actually have them, so I just switched them all out to whatever I liked. So this one I'm going to try and finish myself and just sort of mount it and then mount behind it some nice fabric and then hang it on a wreath. That's my plan. I've never done something like that before, so we'll see how we go with that. Then we had another finish in January.
But
Was it January?
I don't know, but you didn't frame it.
I haven't framed it yet because I basically at the start of the year I counted up all my whips and I had 9 whips. And I thought I really want to try and get through as many of these as I can this year. So this was one of them. This is another Plum Street sampler, the Wool and Flax Company, and I have finished this one. I really, really love this. Oh gosh.
What's oh gosh?
This is stitched on 40 count Winter's Brew, and I've used all the called for colours on this one. I didn't change anything. Absolutely gorgeous. I did make a mistake on this one. I was so annoyed. I ended up with an extra row in there somehow. So, I mean, it worked out okay. I just had to be careful. Like it was over here when I did it, and I'd kind of stitched half. So this wasn't stitched. So basically, when I had come down here and was working my way back up, I just had to be mindful that I had an extra row in here and try to make it all still look normal. And I've got the Milk and Cream Company, which is the exact same stitch size, so I wanted to not get this framed until I finish that one so that I can frame them together. And now I feel like, ugh, I'm gonna have to put an extra row in that. Maybe it doesn't matter because it's only one row. I don't know. Is it really going to be that obvious? Probably not. So anyway, really love this, love how it looks on this particular fabric. The 40 count was a bit hard going when I had to do the 1/1 parts because I don't use a magnifier or anything like that, but I got there in the end. It's just something I think I'll be mindful of in the future. And then my last finish that I only finished a couple of, maybe last week I think?
Yes.
Was the Hands Across the Sea Jane Marshall 1857 sampler. So this is my finish. I changed everything on this. I changed the fabric and I changed the colours. And I absolutely love it. Now, being from Australia and being from New South Wales, we obviously were struggling through those bushfires. So not us personally, our house is fine. It was just the weekend of the retreat, which was the 9th of November, that's when the fires started. So I left work a little bit early on the Friday afternoon to head up the coast. And as I was driving up, all the signs on the freeway were saying, you know, bushfires on the north coast. There will be roads closed, and you couldn't tell at that stage that there were fires. But as I was getting closer up to the north coast, you could certainly start smelling the smoke and stuff like that. It was fine. I got to the retreat, had a lovely time, but basically it was from that weekend onwards that we had constant fires. And so by the time I got back to Sydney that weekend, Sydney was just full of smoke, and the fires were causing so much destruction from then on. And just every single day, you'd wake up and this, you know, the haze and the smoke was just so thick all the time. And it was awful just to be breathing that in all the time. You couldn't really go outside. You couldn't hang your washing outside. I mean, that's nothing compared to, you know, the devastation it caused. And of course it got far worse at Christmas time. So, you know, we had to monitor, you know, where the fires were regularly. We had people who were away and, you know, caught in the fires. Luckily, no one we knew had any damage and everybody was safe, but certainly there was a lot of destructions. And towns that we had visited last year, because last year we had travelled to Victoria and then spent our Christmas holiday driving up the coast, and basically all of those towns that we had visited, you know, a lot of them were completely destroyed. So it's been quite awful. And then following that, finally we get the rain, but of course then it's too much rain and we had major flooding right throughout.
It was raining for 3 days in a row,
yeah,
non-stop.
Everybody was so happy that it was raining, but
too much.
The floods were quite bad. So we've gone from bushfires to flooding, like meters of water, like roads were cut all through Sydney.
And now it's just back to normal,
and
kind of.
Now it's back to normal. So thankfully that rain, which was in February, put the fires out completely. But then, you know, we had a lot of people then had damages from the storms to their houses and stuff like that. So it's just been almost one thing after another with the weather. But thankfully everybody's okay, and things seem to have settled back down a bit. No more smoky skies, which is fantastic. And yeah, so this, that was a bit of a ramble, but anyway, this Hands Across the Sea sampler was to raise money for the 2 New South Wales fire brigades in the Blue Mountains region. So I really wanted to get it just to be able to contribute to that, because I thought it was a good cause. And then I wanted, I guess, to do some colours that more appealed to me. So these were the colours I chose. That's crooked. There you go. Now, I've listed all my colours out on my Instagram page, which is Jane Curry, Currie. There's 2 E's at the end. So if you want to know the colour conversion, you can pop over to my Instagram page and find it there. I'm more than happy to share. It's stitched on a 40 count fog lifter fabric, so it's quite a pale grey, and I just love it. I can't wait to get it framed. It's quite little, and I think it's really cute, and yeah, for a great cause. And this is my first Hands Across the Sea sampler, so I've always been a little bit intimidated by them. They just seem so big and so, I don't know, so intense, but I've done one, so, and I'm really happy with it. I love it. Can you pop them inside that for me, love? Just sort of fold them in half.
Okay.
Oh, don't sit them on there.
What am I supposed to do?
Could you just fold these in half?
Why?
Like that.
I don't want to break them.
And then just pop them in here and zip it up.
Oh.
Thank
I thought
you.
you might put it in there.
Alrighty, so what's next?
Why did you put double E's in the Instagram thing?
Oh, because I had to. That Jane Curry had already been taken, so I had to just put an extra E on there.
How
The other
did
thing-
I already take it?
Oh, there must be another Jane Curry in the world. Here's another one I've been working on. Do you want to hold this up and
Yep.
explain what it is?
I don't know.
Just pop it anyway, it's fine. So this is what I'm working on at the moment.
It's from the blue flower, the quilt. Is it the quilting bee or the quilting?
Quilting.
Quilting bee?
I love this. I got this when it was released at market last year, and was absolutely desperate to start it and all the things, and then of course it ended up in one of my unfinished whip piles. So I've dragged it back out and I'm working on it, and I am going to finish it today.
You wish.
I am. You wait, you watch, you see what happens.
Yeah, you probably will, because you don't really need to do a background. Let me check. Nope.
No background. So I've just, can you see on the bottom there, Melly, point out the bit that's missing?
This bit.
Yeah, so I've just got to do that border, and then there's 2 more quilting motifs that go there, and then I'm done. So that won't take too long at all. I love this. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It is stitched on 36 count Weeks Dye Works parchment, which I think is a great colour for this. I really haven't liked stitching on this though. I don't know. It must be that old Weeks that everybody talks about. I don't know what that even means. But when I hear people say that they don't like stitching on the old Weeks, I think this must be what they're referring to. So absolutely love the colour of this fabric. I think it's perfect, but have not enjoyed stitching on it. So, well, not that I haven't enjoyed stitching on it. It's just, I don't know. It's like a little bit, it pulls easily. So maybe, you know, my stitching might be, maybe I pull my stitches too tight on it. I don't know. But it is nearly finished. It will be finished today. And that will be another whip complete. So that's that one.
Then you only
Can
have
you pop
6?
the pattern back in there? Yes, because I finished the Wool and Flax Company and I finished this, so I'm down to 7.
But you finished the weird other one that you told me to fold up.
Yes, but that wasn't, I hadn't started that. The 9 were ones that were already started the year before. Okay, but there is one more, which I'm also going to finish today. Which is this one.
Oh, I see reindeers.
Yeah.
It's basically a Christmas ornament, but it's reindeers, and it's not like where you can put your scissors in.
So a CC reindeers. Don't worry about it, just pop it over there. This, as Amelia said, is a Christmas ornament. So it wraps around this spool.
And on the top there's something where you hang it through the tree.
Yes.
Or you could tie a string and
Yeah, we've got, it comes with ribbon that you can tie onto that, and then you wrap it around like so.
It's basically a CC rabbits, but not one of those type of schools.
Oh, I'm much happier with it. Okay, so short story, with this one is, so that's where I'm at, and all I've got to do is the French knots around these 4 snowflakes. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. I've just got to do the French knots around those. So the kit came with the fabric and the thread and the spool. You get it from the Cruel Goblin in Sydney.
Goblin.
Yeah, that's how you say it.
Goblin.
Okay, well, you can say it that way. But the French knots, like the yellow or the goldy French knots and the banding on the reindeer was meant to be done in metallic thread. And so I started doing it like that, and
She didn't like it.
whew, that stuff is hard to work with. So it was it was breaking. I was cutting the short lengths like it says to cut the short lengths, but it was bunching up, and so then my stitches looked really chunky, and
So she had to unpick it all?
yeah, so I had stitched like 3 of the bands. They looked awful, and then I was thinking, how on earth, I mean, I am not good at French knots at the best of times. How on earth am I going to do all of these French knots around all these snowflakes with this thread? And I was sitting there and I was getting really disappointed because I was so close to finishing. And then I went, you know what, just forget it. Pull it all out and stitch it with a regular floss. So I used Weeks Dye Works Gold. Oh yeah. As the colour, and I think it looks okay. I think it'll be fine. So I've just got to finish. Do you think that looks okay?
Yeah, it's just looking if those were like attached or something. Or
Yeah, they are. They're French knots. They're, oh gosh.
I know I'm picking them, French knots.
No, I'm not unpicking those. I'm leaving them. I'm happy with them now. So I've just got to finish those last few snowflakes, and then I've got to sew it onto here.
And she does not like sewing.
Well, I've done it once, so I'm comfortable I can do it again.
Yeah, but you don't enjoy sewing as much as...
Oh yeah, cross stitch is far better than sewing, in my opinion.
Fact.
So then that will mean I've done 3 out of the 9 that I had started. So that's pretty good. Good start. Then I might just show you some of the things that I brought over the last, I don't know, 4 months. Or do you want to show what you've done? Why don't you show what you've done?
But you have so much.
Yeah, I know, but show what you've finished.
So we recently went to a haircut and I bring some art stuff to do. And sometimes when I got stuck, Mum would help me with this bit and I'll just draw while I wait. But I finished it, the bunny. At first I thought we didn't really need to do the last row. But when I saw it with one more row, I didn't think it looked as good. But when I started with that last bit on the very end facing that way, when I started to do that, it will pull the one above it. So I had to start on the different side than what I already had done.
So this is your first
Full thing to do. But we don't know what to do with it. Well, we do know what to do, but I have no idea how it goes again.
Yeah, so we were thinking we could frame it, or we could make a little pillow out of it, or even a little bag or something. But yeah, that's her first cross stitch, and I think she did a great job with her stitches. And did you enjoy doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so what's next on your plans?
We went to another stitch shop where I got this one.
That's so cute.
Yeah, and also we have this one still in its package, but a squirrel one. The thread is kind of the exact same to the bunny, if I find it.
They'll look good then, because you'll be, maybe you could have 2 things finished together.
Yeah, because if they're made like the same thread, then they're good. And besides, this one's, if I can, like this are like facing the exact same way. They're like 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's really cute. So which one are you going to start next?
This one, because I've already opened the package.
And blue's your favourite
Colour.
Yeah. These are great. Like if you're trying to get your kids into cross stitch, then nice big holes. I help Amelia thread the needle and sort of pull it through for her to start doing her first stitch. But after that,
Go.
yeah, it's good.
And there's my needle up there.
So it's very exciting.
And she let me have her old scissors.
Yes, she has her own pair of scissors now. It's gorgeous.
Honestly, out of the ones I've done, this is probably what might be my favourite one because of the colours.
I think it's going to look awesome. All right, so my purchases. At the Plum Street Retreat, a lot of people brought finished Plum Street designs that, or finished pieces that they had done. And one of the girls had finished this, and it was amazing. I absolutely loved it. Loved her finish. It was fantastic.
What's
So
it called?
I brought this. This is called Yuletide Shanty, and it's what they call a drum, like a pin drum.
Boom, boom, boom. Drums.
So I'm gonna have to sew it, Amelia.
Sad life.
But I got all the threads as well. So,
did it come with the threads or did we have to buy all of them?
no, I had to buy them.
Did it have to come?
No, I brought them at the retreat.
Oh.
So
yeah.
that was one of my purchases. I also purchased this one. Do you want to say what this one's called?
The tired trio, it's sloths. One sloth is up here, one's there, and the other one's on the bottom. You know, sloths are slow, so and they always do slow stuff.
So I'm going to make this one into a little pillow like that, and I've brought some fabric to back it with. So I think that'll look cool. That's going to happen this year.
And I like it because I like sloths.
You do like sloths. Then I purchased this one, which is called
Home for Christmas by Plum Street Samplers.
So these were her new releases that came out while I was at the retreat. So we were all able to snap these up, which was kind of cool. And I hope to make a start on that this year. This was another one that was released. Then also...
it's called the Country Winter, but it's sideways.
Very good. I think this is gorgeous.
And again, it's made by Plum Street Samplers. Here you go.
Thank you. I purchased this one as well.
Here you go.
Thank you. Do you want to hold this one up?
Yeah. Merry
You. I've always wanted to do one of these tart tins. So I picked this up at the retreat also.
I didn't know how to say it because I thought it was like 2 V's, but then it was a W and I didn't know how to say it. That's all. And I'm in year 4, so don't judge me.
And this was another free one that we got at the retreat, which was also released on that weekend, but Paulette gave it to us as a free gift.
For you, it's Santa giving a reindeer a candy cane.
It's very cool, huh?
And look at the back.
So
By
I'm looking forward to those. I just got some trim as well, which I've never used, so that'll be useful.
I guess, if you know how to use it properly.
Yeah, well, I asked the lady who was selling it how to use it, and she explained it to me.
Sold it to you.
No. I brought some fabric at the retreat. I won't show you all of them, but I will show you
The favourites.
this one, which I just thought was absolutely gorgeous. And this
was
was
bee blue.
hand dyed by the people who own Linen and Threads. So Karen and Brendan, absolutely gorgeous fabric. Everyone went nuts for it. So got myself a little piece of that. Not sure what I'm going to stitch on that. I was thinking of doing the Yuletide shanty on that perhaps, but I'll have to see how the colours will look. But I kind of thought that would look awesome. And this was another one I got.
Yes, I love that one.
Do you? It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Honestly, I like it because of its colour.
And it's all like mottled, and I mean that might even look good with Yuletide shanty.
And there's like dark.
Yeah, love that. So
we could put this on there.
I got some Legacy and Tyco as well. So that was cool.
She's got much more.
I do have much more. It's because it's been so long since we've done one.
Well, at least the next time we do one, we don't have to do so much.
Yes. So I ordered this one. It's by Shakespeare's Peddler. It's called Anne Womack 1838, and it's a red sampler. So I'm joining the whole you must have a red sampler thing.
And her favourite colour is red.
My favourite colour is red, so I don't know why I haven't done one before. I really loved this one. So I love the pictures on there, but I also love the saying. So sometimes the sayings, I'm like, nah, I don't really like it.
Time is always moving on. Time we soon may say is gone. Time is fleeting and we know. Time is at last will disappear. And
Womack.
Aged 8 years.
Yeah.
I don't get that bit.
Well, the girl was 8 years old when she stitched this. So you need to lift your game.
You need to lift your teaching skills.
Pretty impressive though, aren't they?
Yes.
So
haven't you been talking about someone doing that before?
yeah, the one I did.
Turtle.
No, the Jane Marshall one was also stitched by a girl. So I picked
6 years old, 5 years old, 2 years old. I don't know.
I think she was 8, wasn't she? 8 or 10. I picked
12.
my threads for this, and I've also picked my fabric. So I think that will look quite nice together.
Or maybe you should take them out and see, like you usually do.
Okay. I think you're right.
I want to point them on.
Okay, you can do that. What is this fabric?
I don't know. What is it?
It's straw. No, it's not.
Straw is a thread.
It is 36 count stars hollow. I don't know why I said it was straw.
This is what one of the fancy floss threads from Style Works would look on. Let me see what it's called.
Stars hollow.
Oops.
I think it's going to look great. I think it's a good match.
Honestly,
So, Cayenne. I'm not sure when I will start that one, but
hopefully soon.
I've got it all kitted up, ready to go. And then I also brought this book. I had seen someone stitching this on Instagram and thought her stitching looked absolutely gorgeous. Found the book for sale on eBay for like $8 or something. So I picked up the book. This is the book. And
That looks cartoony on the front.
it does, but it's stitching. And this is the sampler. Sorry, I can't show the pattern there. So that is what I'm going to stitch. The colours that are listed here, I did not like, and they don't, in my mind, they don't look like this at all. And I think the girl who was stitching it online on Instagram has changed all the colours as well. So I'm changing the colours for this, and I'm also going to change the wording in the middle to something else as well. I'm not sure when I'll get started on this one, but I absolutely love that, and I am going to stitch it on Confederate grey. So I think that's quite a good likeness for the colour that was in here. So looking forward.
This one actually feels a lot softer than this one because I don't have anything to hold on, so I have to like hold it like this, and it's pretty ruined.
Well, it's not ruined.
Well,
it just gets softer because you're holding it in hand.
And also look at this.
Okay, well, we'll just trim those off. That's okay. And we'll iron it, and it'll come up looking really good again.
Like this.
And another purchase I made.
Holy smokes.
I know. Do you want to hold it up?
I don't know what it's called.
Harriet Elizabeth Coe. I'd seen this hanging in the background of... Oh, I'm going to draw a blank.
It
my
says
gosh.
Harriet Elizabeth Coe at the bottom and on the top.
I can't remember the name of this floss tuber. And she's got all the samplers hanging behind her. What's her name?
The girl. I mean, do you mean the thread tag names?
No. It's a floss tuber I watch. I'm not sure if I've ever watched her with you.
Yeah, I sometimes watch it, not all the time.
Oh, how embarrassing. Anyway, she has this hanging behind her, and I've been looking and looking at it so many times.
And being distracted.
Yeah. So anyway, I've now got it. Again,
So
I'm
now
not
you
sure
don't
when I
have
will
to
start
do
that one, but I'm very excited to have that. And lastly, because I'm almost finished the bee, I'm going to make a start on this one. This was one that I had purchased last year.
And yesterday we had to do a vote on which one that she would start. So she,
Matters.
Matt's choice got the most.
Yeah, I lined up, I think it was 12?
Yes, it
12
was
patterns.
12.
And I gave the kids
4.
4, like 1, 2, 3, 4.
On a piece of paper.
And
we had to pick. I picked for number 1. I changed it out, but it's like a bag where it has like a little bunny, a brown bunny. I'm not sure if you bring it down.
I did bring it because I am going to stitch it this year.
Yay! Now can I show them because I want it? This is what it looks like, and it's by Stacy Nash Primitives. I don't know.
That's exactly right. So Amelia, that was her choice.
That looks like a book a bit.
It's sitting on a book. And this one was Ethan's first choice and Amelia's second choice. And then some of these other ones that I showed before, like the Plum Street sampler ones.
Were your favourites?
Well, I think you guys had voted for them too, down in 3 or 4 or whatever. So
yeah, you also did.
yes. So this is my main sort of big-ish. It's not actually that big because I'm going to stitch this on, I think I'm stitching it on 40 count
linen.
Old Town Blend it's called. 40 count Old Town Blend. And so it'll only be, what does it say, 5.5 by 4. Oh no, that's the smaller piece. There's 2, so you can stitch just the house or you can stitch the whole. So I'm obviously going to stitch the whole. So it's about 8 inches on a 40 count piece of fabric. So this will get started this week. And do you want to hold up the fabric and the threads if I get the thread out for you?
Okay. Yeah, maybe I might not drop it this time. Oh, I like this blue. It might not look like a blue, but it is a blue.
Yeah.
If you just, because it looks like a black.
It's, what's it called?
It's called Midnight, and if you can see better now, it's...
That was much better. You could see the blue in it there.
Yeah, but I like the colour.
Yeah, I think it's going to look great, especially on this fabric, don't you?
Honestly, all I really like is any type of blue. I don't care.
So that is my new start that will be happening this week. This week. So today I want to finish the bee. And I want to finish just those French knots on
What's this thing?
a CC reindeer. Yeah, I was just going to show this. I purchased this at the cross stitch shop, and you've all probably seen these before.
I haven't.
So what you do, Millie, so I've cut my fabric to size, and normally when you cross stitch, you start in the middle. So you fold your fabric in half.
I don't start in the middle when I start.
Well, you don't have to because yours is printed on the canvas, but when you're doing counted cross stitch, when your picture is not printed on the fabric, you fold it in half and then you fold it in half again and you pinch here, and then where you see that's normally where you would start, and you start in the middle. But what this allows you to do is to start in the corner. So you put this up in the corner of your fabric. And how big do you want your border? Do you want your border to be 2 inches, 2.5 inches, or 3 inches? And then that's where you start. So see this hole? You put your needle through there.
Is that an inch?
That's 2 inches.
Wow, so an inch would be like that.
Yeah, half of that. And then that's where you start. If you wanted to start up in...
We use centimetres, not inches.
We do use centimetres here, but we know how to convert to inches quite easily. So... I've used it when I did the Jane Marshall, and I'll be using it on this as well because I do like starting either at the top or the bottom. So yeah, I'd been looking for one for a little while, so I was kind of pretty happy to find that. So that'll get used again. Okay, so what's coming up next weekend?
What?
What are you doing?
Going camping with my friend Elizabeth and her dad and my brother and my dad.
And I'm not. So I will be...
Going to a shop called Stitch, and she's going upstairs to make like a bunny where she has like felt inside the inner of it, and like you can pick out clothes for like, you know, bonnets type of thing. Do that and make shoes. So it's basically just making a decoration doll.
That's right. So there's a shop in Sydney called Stitch.
And it's not so far from the cool Goblin.
Yeah, it's not far.
To Mum.
Yeah, not far at all.
But every time we try to go there, it takes us different directions.
It does.
Which is annoying to her.
So I'm going there next Sunday to do this rabbit making course. So it's called Making Lunar Lappin.
You could
There's
also
a book.
do foxes.
Yep. There's a book that you can buy, and it's obviously got the pattern for making this rabbit. So they're doing a class to teach you how to do it, and it's run over 2 weekends. So next Sunday and the one after, I'll be doing that. Amelia loves rabbits. It's her favourite animal. So she said she wanted a boy rabbit. So I will
like
be
dirty, you know, like dirt boots. Like I like kind of like that because it's like gardening and stuff.
Yeah. So she picked
I
out.
like gardening.
She picked out the colour of the rabbit.
So I picked out a kind of a light grey, and
then she picked out his clothes.
yeah, I did.
Yeah, remember you said you wanted him to wear blue?
Yeah.
Blue pants.
Like the girl said she only had like navy, but I don't really care because I like any blue, like I said before.
So it's gonna hopefully work out.
And also like the pattern on the ear, she's got like one of them has like toys on it.
Yeah.
I forgot the other one. I think the other one has
Fish, little fish, I think it was.
Swim, fishy, swim.
Yeah. So yeah, that is coming up next weekend. So I just got a message from my husband. He needs me to move my car.
And he said,
so
can you move car instead of can?
we've got to wrap this up because he needs me to move the car.
And instead of, he just did the letter U, not.
Okay. We've got to go. Got to go move my car. Bye.